Hey everybody, it is Corey from Thought Soldiers. So I wanted to talk about what's been going on lately. This has been a very, very intense energy wave that's come in since the eclipse and into the full moon. It has just been a very, very trying time for a lot of us. I've been sitting down trying to make this video all day. And for some reason, the universe just didn't want me to put it out at that point in time. Every time that I would start to talk about it, I spilled water on myself. The video got chopped up. The video kept cutting off because it was going above, 25 minutes. It would cut at 22 minutes on the dot and re-record, and it's been hectic. So I'm going to try this again. I did some clearing, and let's see if I can get this done. So, to kind of talk about what's been going on lately, the overall vibe has been this kind of like I get this visualization of an archer, pulling back the bow as he aims for the target and releases, and it's that pulling back energy that it's been. For me, I've been doing a lot of clearing as of late that I've talked about multiple times. Over the past month, it's just been this really big. There's just been a lot since I was triggered back on 11/11, or the triggers started. Since those triggers started, it's been a lot of just releasing and clearing, it's been very heavy and very deep. And what's been going on is it's that pullback period. And what I mean by pullback is that things are coming to the surface, old emotions, not really the thought forms themselves. The thoughts weren't there, but it was the old emotions popping up, and they weren't triggered by anything other than these clearings that I was doing with people. And the emotion was really hard to detach from. It was really hard to kind of, especially with how dense and very toxic these energies were that were coming to the surface, and with my body adjusting to the energies coming forth and literally waking up in a new paradigm, it was hard to not let them kind of fester a little bit. So it was knocking me in vibration. It was lowering me down, and that's what I mean by the pullback. Is it felt like I at least had to go through that, come down a little bit, live in that lower density, whether it was 3D, 4D, whatever, and sit in that world and go, do I want to live here? Like, do I really want to? And I don't anymore. Luckily, I got to experience some of the 3D, 4D world again, and just the fears that people had, and a lot of the darkness I felt. I was like, this is no longer my home, and that's what I needed to know to release these things, to usher in this 5D awareness that we're all living in now. And I know when I'm switching into 5D because my world around me becomes high definition. I don't know how else to explain it unless you've gone through it. The first time I really experienced it was when the veil was very thin back in, I'd say September or October. No, actually, take that back. It started in August. I got a glimpse of it in August, where there was a few nights where it was coming up on a full moon, where everything was just in high definition. I have no other way to explain it, but it's like my world was in HD. And that's when I started to really notice that the 5D awareness was arriving in my consciousness, at least, and I was resonating at that. And it went away for a little while. And it's been kind of, I've been bouncing back and forth, teeter-tottering. And so I noticed it was the night of the eclipse and the full moon. It went into HD again, that HD mode, that 5D mode, and then it dropped back down. And I noticed a lot of darkness. So another thing that's going on is, for those of us that have really come into terms with our multidimensional existence, especially, for me, I've known intuitively, I guess you could say, or I was aware that I'm a multidimensional being. But as far as really believing it and understanding it and having proof, actual tangible proof that I am a multidimensional being living amongst other multidimensional beings, that belief now has really opened my eyes to the way this world is. And the way it's been operating and the path we've been on for a very long time. It was interesting seeing the Master of Puppets, too. once again, it's something we all know. We know who the controls are. We know who's kind of behind the scenes working this darkness. But I got to see it, and I got to look it in the face, and it was I definitely felt some righteous anger as a result of it, and I had to process that stuff and just process, leaving this old home that I lived in for so long. There's been this theme popping up with going home, going home, going home, especially with "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver, the song "Home" by Chris Daughtry. Like, all these songs have been popping up about home and going home and going home, and it's a matter of the way that I'm interpreting it is building a home in a fifth dimensional awareness and in a fifth dimensional existence. And for those of us that are on the Master Builder quest, that are seeing the 22s and they're resonating with that journey, that's kind of where we're at right now. It's like, it's here. There are a lot of people that are anchoring in this fifth dimensional awareness, and it's time for us to build. It's time to build a home, a kingdom, a place of love and light that we can share and help one another, exchange services, be able to serve man and to live in compassion and not hold space for one another, but hold space with one another. And that's been another thing, is like I'm coming into this union within myself, this balance of masculine and feminine, and the perfect balance of the Holy Trinity, mind, body, spirit, coming all into one, and being able to have that wholeness so I can hold space with others, with all these new relationships that I'm ensuing on. And this balance and this feeling of totality finally came in my core. So I've been getting a lot of heart chakra and third eye activations too with these energies, and this new awareness, or this new kind of paradigm that we're all waking up to, or woke up in. And the feeling right here is almost like it's like Iron Man has his piece in his chest and it's lighting up. That's what it feels like. And I feel like it's like a completion, not a completion of a cycle, but I'm grounded, I'm present, and I'm balanced as far as that Trinity is concerned, of mind, body, and spirit. So, and that's been happening as a result of a lot of these clearings and going deeper into meditation, very, very deep into meditation, and stepping up the self-care game. So I wanted to talk about self-care a little bit, especially spiritual self-care. Body self-care is pretty self-explanatory, just healthy diet, lots of water, things like that. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm still adjusting to making the full leap of living a healthy life as far as what I'm putting in my body and in my system. So I don't want to talk on something I don't know about. And I'm not there yet. I'm getting there. And sparkling water right now, trying to. And yeah, so I'm on my way there, but that's one key point of self-care. But the spiritual self-care I've been taking a lot more. I've started to incorporate the 12D shielding into my routine. That's something that's very helpful. I'm not going to go in depth on and explain how to do it. There's a lot of videos online on 12D shielding, and it's been helping me a lot. Another thing, Palo Santo. This is a wood that I've been working with for a long time with clearing. Sage is another good one. Cedar, I've heard people do. And you can look up different smudging techniques, or different herbs and spices to use, whatever you want to use. Anyways, I use Palo Santo, and I do this twice a day. Every morning I wake up and I burn a little bit. Actually, now I'm sitting here with my candle. I'm going to burn some right now. So, burn a little bit. I draw the cross on myself. Just, it's kind of a little bit of a habit that I picked up. And I just breathe in the aromas and clear my energy. Clear my field. Don't let this stuff hang and linger, especially since a lot of us that have taken on the healer journey or stepping into their healing powers, we tend to be attracting a lot of people that need healing right now, and they don't know it. I think it's just it's attachments, thought forms like that that are trying to get off and seek some sort of healing. So right now I'm getting a lot of friends and people that they've been spitting their fears to me, and I don't know if they're necessarily casting it on purpose, but they're trying to release something, and it will attach onto me. So I do this every morning when I wake up. I smudge myself a little bit before I go to work. When I'm off work, I come home and I smudge myself again. And anytime in between, if I feel I need it, I will use it. And as I started to work through these clearings, I noticed that as far as how I hold and carry myself in my body, when I'm clear and my chakras are glowing bright and I'm a clear channel to source energy and keeping it grounded or holding it within myself, this light, I'm in a flow state, some would say. My shoulders are back, my head is high. I'm in this like body posture of complete energetic fluidity. What will happen is when these thought forms start to attach, to me at least, I shrink. So when I'm clear and I'm open, my energy field is expanded out very large. But when these thought forms start to kind of attach and I start to get these things, I feel myself collapsing and closing in, and I get very small. It's almost like a fetal position, like a safety blanket, I guess you could say. And that's probably just something I've had embedded in me in a long time. But it was key to know that, because then I knew that there were things attaching to me in thought forms that I needed to clear, and that's where this came into play. Because, I've been practicing the 12D shielding, but I'm not perfect at it yet. And there's a lot of cool guided meditations on how to do that. But that's been a big part of the self-care, is spiritual self-care. Also diving into meditation more. So as I mentioned in another video, I got a very large download on the lunar eclipse and the full moon. Got a very large download that I started to unpack. And I've been unpacking that in meditation. But I found, too, it helped to really quiet the monkey mind, especially those masculines like myself that are very logical thinkers and are very up here. Having to quiet down that monkey mind and being able to turn within has really helped to bring that balance and that totality I talk about, of that balance of the Holy Trinity. And so what I've been doing now is a Dalai Lama chant. There's a YouTube video with the Dalai Lama chanting Ohms. It's an hour and 9 minutes long, I believe. And I listen to that because I can't always chant Ohms just because I'm still, I don't want a roommate to walk in with me just sitting there going, Om. Like, even though they probably wouldn't think it's weird, it's still just a comfort thing for me. So I listen to that at high volume, and I let the chants, I kind of focus them in my third eye. Like, I have a center point of focus on my third eye, and since I have my headphones in and I can feel it resonating, I try to take that vibration of those ohms and really spread it throughout my body, and it really helps to raise my vibration. And then I find, too, if I set an intention pre-meditation to discover something or to be guided towards something, during the meditation when I'm listening to those ohms, I'm not 100% silent. I don't get a lot of the answers right there, but the answers start to arrive that night after the meditation or the next day. So I found, as far as integrating and unpacking these downloads, if you can't get into a quiet spot because you live in the city or you got roommates like me, I find doing that hour a day is beautiful and perfect as far as being able to unpack and being able to quiet that monkey mind and get some guidance, because I need that escape still. Another thing that's really helped me is playing around with my crystals and my minerals more. I was given this by Amber from the Ascension Journals. It's Numite, and she gave this to me in help with some shadow work I was doing. And it's a very, very powerful stone. They call it the Sorcerer's Stone. It's actually mined in Greenland, I believe. And it's very good for grounding, very good for keeping negative energies away. I pair it with the quartz. I have this quartz that's a clear crystal or clear quartz from Devil's Tower. I believe it's in Utah. My family was out there and they gave me a big crystal shard of quartz that was mined from Devil's Tower. So this is a little chunk of it that my friend Taylor knocked off of that huge shard I had and wrapped it. And so I wear this around my neck. I've been pairing these two, and I've been carrying this with me every single day, and it's been helping to stay grounded. I feel like it's really helped to bring that totality I was mentioning, that balance, because for a while there I was living in this 3D world, but I was somewhere else completely. I was for a very long time I was walking around here but completely out of body. And I've had a few times I've had friends that are like, yo, we need to pull you back. And during like things like matrix sessions, they actually were like pulling my tether back and trying to bring me back into body and keep me grounded, because that's one of my problems is being an addict. I love to escape. So yeah, having to incorporate this has been helping me stay grounded, and helping me to anchor in this 5D energy, and helping to clear to a lot of my shadow work. So Pneumite has been a big one, and the quartz. The only other thing that I have is selenite, and I'll do that when I'm doing clearings and Reiki healing on myself. So that's part of the self-care routine I've been doing. And it's been helping. Today's actually the first day where like I finally broke through the veil of bull crap I've been going through. I triggered a little too much shadow work, but I don't want to say that because it brought me to this point where I'm at today. And the big realization too is if you're going to do any deep shadow work, or like people have been mentioning implants and stuff lately, if you're working with any of that stuff, work with a master, work with someone. That's one thing that I'm realizing is, clearing some of that stuff up. Sometimes you need someone who's very well knowledgeable to be able to help you with staying protected and making sure you get through it safely. So I'm definitely done diving deep. Whatever comes to the surface naturally is coming to the surface naturally, and I'll process it and journal it, but I'm not going to go any deeper anymore because I had some weird stuff happen. So yeah, energies have been really, really high lately. And I've found that we just got to ride this wave out and let other people know what's going on. Because for a while I thought I was the only one going through some of the stuff I was going through, but once again, found out I'm not alone. A lot of people are going through the same exact thing right now, just trying to adjust. So, welcome home. Welcome to this 5D energy. I'm building now. That's what my focus is. What's been helping, especially those that are resonating on the master building journey and building a home, building a kingdom, whatever you want to call it, in this this awareness, is to start planning out things accordingly. Because I was looking back at my past year, because yesterday I came up on my year clean. I was looking on this past year and everything I accomplished in a year, because I forget sometimes that the universe has my back. And so what I did was look back at it was December 22nd of 2017. I was in a shelter, and then got into treatment in March of 2018. And over the course of March until now, I had nothing. And today I've got a lot of things. Like, I've got a career. I've got a beautiful house that I live in, a sober living. I've got a bed. I've got clothes on my back. I got food in my belly. I've got friends and family. I've got technology that I can connect to you guys with. There's a lot of beautiful things I have as a result of that. And that was the proof in the pudding that the universe has my back. As long as I'm staying on course and I'm living my purpose, my divine purpose, things work out. It's not luck. It's pure faith, and it's using these tools that we're given and building with them. So the big thing has been, now I'm planning. I'm planning out where this is going to go, what it's going to look like, what the business is going to look like, where do I want to live, the people I want to incorporate into my life, the relationships I want, and getting into the nitty-gritty details. Because when it came to manifestation, for a while I kept it very general, because there was times that I would ask for specifics and I got that specific thing, but then certain parts of my life either fell off or got really strange. So I was very generalized with what I wanted when it came to asking the universe. So now I'm planning it accordingly and getting these details all in line so I could start to script and start to really build this thing that I want to live. Because today in visualization, I was given basically a big reset button. It's just a big red button that, universe was saying, if you want to, you hit this and you can start your whole life over. Not in a way where I wake up as a brand new being or anything like that, but I get to create my world however I want today. The world is my oyster. So now I'm looking at, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? And kind of creating those goals to stay driven on this path. Because I see a lot of people especially if you work a 9-to-5 like me, or you are still kind of having to live within the means of the matrix. And as it's starting to break down right now, it can get very mundane. So setting those goals and staying in forward momentum is key, because I was kind of getting stagnant for a little bit. And with that stagnance, created this kind of dense energy that was hard to get to the surface. So now I'm keeping moving forward, and it's keeping me on that positive direction. I'm staying goal oriented with reasonable, attainable goals, and trying to manifest my desires, and trying to build this world that I want to live in. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. Talk about how I'm integrating with these new energies, and integrating with the identity loss, losing those attachments to things that in the 3D world fed the ego, and were the definition of who I was, and realizing that I'm just universal energy, and I'm just consciousness, and I'm just trying to traverse this plane and figure things out. So giving myself time to mourn is key, because there has been some mourning of releasing some stuff, and leaving the old home and the old awareness to step in line with this new awareness. Give yourself time to grieve if you need to, and then open up, and stay expanded, and stay big, and stay large, and enjoy this, because today I finally broke out of the shell, and I'm feeling a lot better. I've been burning candles all day. I've been doing work on the computer, building website, Palo Santo, playing with my crystals, listening to music, playing guitar. So I'm definitely today I stepped up the self-care game, and I hope you guys too. We need to treat ourselves with kindness, and love and respect, and really start to harmonize with these frequencies, and not let those lower density energies keep us down there. If we need to go down there for a little bit in order to release, and to feel, and to see where we don't want to go, that's okay, but we need to release them, and then let's try to keep our vibration high, to anchor in this 5D, and to live and to build. So anyways, that's all I've got, guys. Much love and respect sent to you. I hope everyone had a great week. Hope you have an amazing weekend, a stellar weekend. I've also wanted to thank all the way showers, first waivers, second waivers, and everyone that is building in this 5D, and is really anchoring it in, and staying strong. For those of us that had our moments of weakness where we couldn't keep our vibration high, thank you for keeping this all available for us, and all the hard work you're doing. It is much appreciated, and we all know it's not going unnoticed. So that's all I got, guys. If you want to connect with me, CoreyMacLite33, LITE33 at gmail.com. Reach out, say hi. Until then, I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.